coach, when you're settled, just an opening statement on the opportunity to go with Team USA to the Olympics.
Well, first and foremost, I really, really am excited to finally be able to fulfill my dream of representing Team USA across my chest in the Paris Olympic Games. It's been a dream since the fifth grade, sixth grade actually, when I made my goal list, and one was to be able to represent in the Olympics and win a gold medal. It never came to fruition as a player. I got cut in 1992 from the squad, but finally it's come full circle, and I couldn't be more excited. Really, really also excited to represent in 3x3, which is a really exciting game that I think it's finally taken the national stage. And so to be a part of that is just totally amazing, and I couldn't be happier.
Open up to questions for Coach.
Tammi, I saw your interview with Channel 10, I think, where you described you got this basically through a connection, right? What was your reaction though when you were first offered the role?
I got the phone call from USA Basketball from Jay Dennings, who is the kind of the director and heads 3x3, both men and women. It's his baby. And so he called me during the year, it was during the season, and said, we'd really like you to be the assistant Olympic coach. And I was ecstatic. A little bit, nervous, because I miss a lot in the summer. This is my third year. I miss a lot of recruiting. I miss a lot with my team. It's why I have to have great assistants, but this is probably my final go around, because I want to focus on Rhody basketball from this point on. But the initial phone call was like sheer jubilation, because it was 2 years of summers dedicated, some of the worst travel you've ever experienced in your life, 48 hours to Mongolia, days in an airport, and you sacrifice a lot to have this opportunity. So I was very happy USA Basketball recognized that and gave me this opportunity.
Tammi, you flash back to little Tammi, or even Tammi playing in college. There was no WNBA. Was the Olympics the pinnacle in your mind at that point?
I think for any athlete in any sport, as well as you want to become a pro and do well, and your ultimate goal is to represent your country. There's no greater honor on the world stage. It's world stage. I know the NBA calls it world champion. They're not world champions. That's NBA. This is the world stage. You get to go against the best of every country. And as an athlete, that was always my goal, to be the world, to be the very best in the world. And you can say that when you play in the Olympics. So for me, yes, the Olympics is the pinnacle, because you're on the world stage, seeing athletes in sports you've never experienced live. I've never got to see Katie Ledecky or Noah Lyles or Sha'Carri or Simone Biles. Like, there's some things, not just me selfishly, I want to see the best in the world do it on the very best stage. And so not just for myself competing in the Olympics as a coach, but I want to see some of the best athletes in the world in their element, and that's a rare opportunity. You get to watch it on TV, but being there and seeing them live, it's a very, very special thing.
So you're going as a coach, and obviously for work, and you have very clear set of goals when you go there, but you'll be going as a fan as well.
Oh, when you go to the Olympics, like my work, most of my scouts are done. Like, as an assistant coach, you grind, you work. And so I'll be at the venue from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, go back to the room, grab something quick, scout. That's what assistant coaches do. They grind. Gives you a great appreciation. That's why I appreciate my assistants so much. So you work. So I try to get as much work done that, Coach Rhody is really good at. She's been in USA Basketball for years as a player and as a coach. She's won gold medals. The balance of, this is the Olympics. You don't get this. This is a very rare opportunity. Enjoy the moment. Don't work it away. Yes, we're going for gold, but you have to enjoy the moment. Take it in. Take everything in about it that you can, and enjoy the process, and I'm going to do that. Work is work, and I love that balance. I'll play just as hard. So I will be at track and field. I will be at swimming. Any ticket I can get, I'm going to.
How'd the World Cup set you guys up for where you're at now, that experience into the Olympics?
I think, going to Vienna last year and winning the World Cup, it had been a while since USA had won one. It was really good for the confidence of some of our younger kids. Haley Van Lith, Cameron Brink, first time on that stage, that level. It's one thing to play in the 3x3 women's series every weekend. It's a whole nother when you've got the top teams in the world and you're competing. Most of those teams are at the Olympics now. The biggest competition, the best teams. We're all there. And so for Sierra Burdick and Haley Van Lith, they're the two returners. Unfortunately, Cam Brink tore her ACL this year, right before it was time. She actually tore it right after the team was announced. It helps us tremendously knowing, we've beat all these teams and there's a way we've beat them. And so, Van Lith and Burdick have that experience. It's one of the reasons I think they both made the team, is they understand the game and they have the experience on that stage.
What's the difference in the game, 3-on-3, 5-on-5?
3x3 versus 5-on-5, it's a completely different game. It's a 10-minute game, 12-second shot clock. Really, 3-on-3, there is no help defense. You got to be able to guard, you got to be able to score, and you got to be able to transition fast. And you better be in shape. It is the one thing. It is a fast game, and you're playing outside in the elements. So, not many kids nowadays go out and play chain link, the elements, the wind, the heat. I mean, there are times we played in 103, 105 degree weather. You're playing 3 games. No tent above the court in the blazing sun. That's the element. It's a completely different game. And so you got to be able to read and react very quickly and have great chemistry. And unfortunately for the U.S., we have about 8 days to get ready. We put this team together. We have 2 WNBA players in Ryan Howard and De'Erica Hamby. They haven't played on the circuit with us. They haven't played with Burdick or Van Lith yet in a really good training camp. So we'll have about 8 days to get them ready for the Olympics. So where other teams have had 4 years together, Canada, France, China, some of these teams, we throw them together and think that talent prevails in the end. So hopefully we can develop that chemistry within the 3x3, because 2 of them are coming from 5-on-5. Different games, they've got to adjust very, very quickly.
What's your role in that going to be in putting these pieces together on the fly?
For the coaching staff, and also the big difference is you're not on the floor with them. You're not coaching them in the game. You prepare them, and then we sit in the stands. And they have to coach. They have to understand the game. So from a coach's perspective, you have to teach them the why. This is what we're running when this happens. When they make a change, this is what we go to. So they have to understand the sets, the coverages. They have to be coaches on the floor. So their IQ, we really got high IQ players, but it's all preparation, preparing them to understand what we're running, what works against what coverages, and the game plan, and the scouts. Really preparing your players so when they hit that floor, they can coach themselves. That's the big difference. Again, we can't coach from the stands. You'll get a tee, you'll get warnings. So it's really just preparing the players without having a coach on the floor.
I'm sure you and Coach Rhody talked about picking the team, the makeup of the team, what it would be. When Cam Brink gets hurt so late in the process, how much did you have to maybe go back to square one, bringing in De'Erica Hamby, and you maybe start over a little bit, and how the 4 would play together?
We had Olympic trials. We had a trial and training camp in Springfield. I think it was late May. And so De'Erica, all the people that were vying for the Olympic team were there, had to be there, and were trying out. And so when we initially made the cut, De'Erica was in the top 6. De'Erica was there. And it was, again, experience. Cam had the experience. Cameron Brink was an unbelievable 3x3 player. She really is. Defensively, she does some things with the length that you don't have help D, but somehow, some way, this kid, she covers a lot of ground in the half court. And so when Cam got hurt, it was a natural progression. De'Erica was, a click away from making the Olympic team. So she was at training camp. She fared very well. So we knew we always had backups from training camp that were the next man up, and De'Erica was that. So, adding her to the roster was relatively easy. Now, getting her up to speed, her and Ryan. Ryan's coming off an ankle injury as well. She's not played the past couple weeks in the WNBA. So getting them up to speed very quickly in those 8 or 10 days that we have leading to the Olympics is key for chemistry. Really key, learning coverages, learning plays. Where I just got back with Sierra Burdick and Van Lith from Quebec, and they were in Fribourg, Switzerland. They just played a quick women's series to give them a tune-up. So played in the elements, played outside, played together. And we put people on the team that were like De'Erica and like Ryan. Ryan shoots the two, post player that can pick and pop. So we kind of ran sets that would work against Canada. We saw some of our opponents on the circuit. So just, getting the two from the WNBA, once we get them together, just up to speed and understanding what needs to be done. But primarily getting them out of 5-on-5 and thinking 3x3 very quickly. And they'll have to adjust, but they're all-stars, WNBA all-stars. So the talent's there, but they're also high IQ players. I think they'll make the adjustment relatively. It took Cam 2 weeks, and she was MVP of the World Cup and had never played 3x3 before. So you can adjust quickly when you're talented and you're skilled.
There's someone like Van Lith who's won in this format before with Team USA. She's so influential at Louisville. I think she'd probably say that last year at LSU didn't necessarily go the way she would have wanted. So how do you get her back to being the player who she was, who was so influential, so aggressive, so assertive, both with Louisville and with Team USA previously?
It's funny. I'm a huge Hailey Van Lith fan, huge fan, because I've coached her. I know her mentality. She is a wolf and a lion. She's not a dog. This kid's mentality is attack, and she's very confident. And when I watched her at LSU, I worry, is she going to lose that? When she comes to trials in Springfield, I know the Hailey Van Lith I know. And when she showed up in Springfield, she didn't miss a beat. And when I asked her about her experience in LSU, she said, listen, it's not what I wanted, but it helped me grow. And I needed that. And so when she took the court in Springfield at the trials, the old Van Lith was back. It was attack mode. It was compete mode. It was, I'm going to kill you. What I love about Hailey is her competitive fire. And we needed a guard, number one, defensively. Hailey can fight. She can fight over ball screens. It's a very physical game. This is not for babies. They don't call fouls. You can brutally hold and beat each other. You need a guard that just is going to be that dog, and that's Hailey Van Lith. That's what she is. And it's the thing I love most about her. So she didn't lose a beat. She came, she competed, she earned that spot. She earned it, and she beat out some very talented W players, some very talented players that have played this for years. And that's, what Hailey does. And she also can score in a multitude of ways. She can get to the rim, she's got a great mid-range, and she can shoot the two. So she's her experience, but then her mentality is what we needed on the team. And so, didn't miss a beat. That year at LSU didn't affect her 3x3. It didn't. I think she needed the 3x3 to get that back, that competitive fire. And so I'm really, really happy Hailey made the team.
Coach, with all the popularity right now with the WNBA and women's basketball on rise, do you see going to the Olympics, going to Paris, another opportunity to continue to grow the women's sport?
Right now, women's basketball is so very hot. The WNBA is it's just exploding. The players in our game are huge storylines. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson. You have these unbelievable players right now. You see all the NBA guys on the sideline at every game. Everything is growing the sport right now. So our Olympic 5-on-5 team and our 3x3 team, men and women, we're sold out. You can't get a ticket. the 3x3 venue is sold out. It is one of the hardest tickets to get. So we know what it's going to be like, and we know the popularity right now on both sides, 5-on-5 and 3x3. So in any opportunity you have, that's your responsibility as a woman to grow the game, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're a past player, is to elevate our game. And so when you put that on your chest, we're doing that. We're elevating USA women's basketball. And we take that, all of us, that means something. And we're trying to get our game to that next level. So yes, every opportunity you have, you grow the game. And so we're trying to go over there, grow our game, put the best product on the floor, and come home with Olympic gold. That's always the goal.
Tammi, have you visualized the anthem and the podium and the medals?
You know, I haven't yet. I try not to right now. I'm still in the scouting mode. I'm in, that, I almost call it anxious, nervous mode, where we got to be the best. I got to have them. My scouts have to be immaculate. I'm in that game ready mode. Once we start playing, I'll start to think about that. Once we get in the competitive mode, I'm still in the prep mode. There's phases to this for a coach, and right now it's all preparation. Jen and I, what are we running? What's our playbook? Defensive coverages, scouts for every team, how we play and everything. That's where our minds are right now. And our players, I think, they're in the prep mode too. They've got their trainers at home, their strength and conditioning, they're in that prep mode too. But, eventually when we get there, and when you get the feel of the Olympics, opening ceremonies will dictate it's go time, it's compete time, and now we're in competition mode. That's when I'll start thinking about what would it be like to get on that podium and for our players and listen to the national anthem. What would that feel like? I got to be in competition mode for that.
So Whitney's still the number one anthem.
Please stop. There is no close second. There really isn't. Yes, and when you sell a cassette and it goes number one on the pop charts, there is no other anthem that can compare to that. Really, there is no other anthem. I listened to a couple other ones. There's some good ones, but there's no Whitney's. Even One Moment in Time, her Olympic, that was I can't remember what Olympic, it was FloJo's Olympics, I believe. She did the One Moment in Time, and it capped the closing ceremony. So when they play everyone winning, that's her song. I still listen to that to this day. I get chills when I watch the closing ceremonies, and it's her song. But yeah, there is no other anthem for me. It's Whitney.
There's also the whole defending gold medal winners type of thing. Do you guys talk about that, and you go there trying to defend the gold medal title?
Well, I think, obviously USA is always the pinnacle, and especially when you've won the previous year and you won the World Cup. So you're going into the Olympics as the defending gold medalist and the World Cup winner. You got an X on your back. USA has an X on their back anyway when we hit the world stage. But we will talk about that, what it takes to defend. Because when we won the first one, that was the first one, all these teams, for everybody, it was more of who's more talented and skilled. But now, who has the best chemistry? There are teams who have played since the last Olympics all 4 years together. All summer, they train all year long together. That's chemistry. So now we go into this, our 4 haven't trained. 2 of them are brand new. So what they have above us is they've worked together for 4 years. They know everything. And you watch them play, you can see like Canada's chemistry is like poetry in motion. They can read each other before, they know what they're gonna do before the screen even comes. Like they know the coverage. That's the difference from 4 years ago, is experience. These teams have been together. So we've got a little bit to overcome going into this Olympics, and our girls have to be ready. They have to be ready for that. And so as a coach, that's our job, to get them ready to defend the gold medal against teams that have experience and are coming for your.
I wonder just about going to France. You've obviously recruited players from there pretty consistently. The last 2 number 1 picks in the NBA draft have both been from France. Just the basketball atmosphere there. You said all the games are sold out, obviously. What's going to be like to experience that firsthand, do you think?
For me, going to France is really, really special because, number one, we have a lot of past players that are based there. their families are there. They're trying to get tickets to all the 5-on-5 and the 3x3 games. So, they'll be there. MP may make the Olympic team. So one of our former players she's in the running for the French Olympic team. So to see, be in that element, to see some of our former players, to get to be on the streets of some of our recruits are there. They know we're there. So it's really, really special for me. And to be able to go to Paris. What it's funny is I've been to France a lot in different tournaments. I've never been to Paris yet. So this will be my first time. So again, I'm super excited to, kind of go to where all our kids came from and hopefully be able to see our current players and our former players over there. Even if I can't see them in the games, to see them in a cafe, meet them for coffee, and just get to experience that with them, because that is our hotbed. That's our recruiting bed. France is our second home. So I'm excited.
And just a little bit about your team. You've obviously had some changes this offseason with your staff. I think it's the most turnover you've had since you've been here, and I'm sure you'd be excited for Megan to go to UNH. But just your thoughts on how different it's going to look next year, and just maybe the challenges that you had of sort of filling out that staff again.
For Rhody women's basketball, next year is going to be a complete reset, and I think it was time to do a complete reset. There are some times where, for me, different is good. Different challenges, different thought processes, different energy bringing in. Obviously losing Coach Honecker, I am so happy for her, but for me it's bittersweet because I love Meg. Meg's like my mini-me. And she was ready, though, to be a head coach. And when we talk about elevating women's basketball, we talk about my goal is to get my assistants to become head coaches. That should be everyone's goal. And Meg was ready. It was her time. Some of the other staff think we needed change to, again, kind of new ideas, uplift us, and get some new blood in. And I think it was time. So I'm happy I couldn't be any more ecstatic about our staff changes. Really am. The experience that Coach Jax brings, head coach experience, she knows the league, really good for me. And then Coach Fay, from a recruiting standpoint, really, really aggressive recruiter. And so we needed that. And then lucky to get a video coordinator from Indiana. Great kid, hard worker, loves basketball, lives in the gym with our players, also wants to be a coach, so player development's key. So anytime he can do workouts with our players, and so the growth of I want to be a coach, and now we've got another coach on the floor. We got another young man that wants to step into that role in player development, lives in the gym with our players. So really happy about the staff. Now, the players got a lot of new faces, and we still have a lot that we haven't announced, that we will announce over the next 2 or 3 weeks once the NCAA deems them completely eligible. They're in school, but we just are waiting for logistics. So we have 3 or 4 we may add to fulfill our roster. We will be young, but these kids compete. They compete. I don't have to beg them to work hard in practice. I don't. Once we put the pieces together, we'll know what we have. We have some players that next year will be a breakout season for them. AD, and I'll say this now, will be a breakout season for AD. Sort of like we look at Maya, when Maya came out that year and everyone was like, whoa, it was her time. MP and Manu graduated, and it was Maya. She sat patiently. It's AD's time now. Now that Maya and Tenen have left, we've watched AD grow this summer into an unbelievable player. So we got certain players like AD and Honey that have to come in, and it's their time. They've got to step up and take the reins and lead us. So we'll be young, but after we get everyone here, I'll really know the pieces and how we're going to put it together. One of the things we tried to address was three-point shooting in the offseason. So bringing in guards like Kia, Sophie P., our Honey, people that could shoot the three and really spread the floor. And it was something we did not have last year. So kind of address that in the offseason. And then some of our 4 players, our posts we're bringing in, all can shoot the 3. So we'll have a much different look team than we did last year, and we will be young. So, you know, I can't really say how good we'll be yet until I really get the whole team here and I see the pieces we have. The one thing I do know is they compete and they give you everything they have. And so we're really happy with what we have here right now from that standpoint. Moving forward, I can have a better clue of how talented we'll be once September hits and we get the other 4 on campus.
Any final questions for Coach? All set? All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations,
Appreciate it.
Coach.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Michaela.